could a Kalosian Meganium look like? I'm tackling the challenge of designing one, wondering what a regional evolution might look like for this thing. We don't know yet if we're getting a regional evolution for Meganium or a Mega Evolution, or both. Actually, I don't think it's both, but I want to research and speculate on a regional evolution for this video. I've done Emboar and Feraligatr as well, so go check those out if you'd like, but for now, let's look at what we're working with here. A detail that has been shown off in the trailer and picked up on by just about everybody is that Chikorita is seen using a fairy-type move that's not normally known for using. And so the natural assumption there is that we might see a Fairy Grass Meganium. Now, whether that's a Fairy Grass Meganium evolution, regional form, or it's like a Mega type incorporated or whatever, we don't know yet. But the natural assumption is that we're going to get it in some way, and so fan art and lore of it is in full swing. I'm adding to that. The first thing you might notice with this Meganium is it looks kind of weird without the iconic big flower. I think most designs end up with some variation of just bigger flower or different colored big flower, but I wanted to work on changing it up a little bit, and it does have its own reasons, I swear. Firstly, the flower is similar to lavender, which is highly associated with aromatherapy, which goes along with Meganium's whole existence, it being involved with herbs and fragrance and soothing. Looking at Chikorita, here's how the website describes her. The leaf on its head has a variety of uses. Chikorita can use the large leaf on its head to determine the temperature and humidity of its surroundings. It will also use this leaf to seek out warm places, since it loves sunbathing, lightening the mood even when the mood is hostile. Chikorita has a gentle personality. While it at first may wave its leaf around fiercely to keep its opponent at bay, a sweet fragrance wafts from the leaf, which will calm both battling Pokemon and create a cozy, friendly atmosphere in the end. So obviously this Chikorita, is utilized for soothing and stuff. I do enjoy Chikorita and believe in her to maybe become a strong Pokemon with the right help, if they give her help. I figure that Meganium could be generally, the gentle giant, but can be good at conflict resolution through heavy blows if it needs to. I could imagine the calming fragrance both attracts and calms other Pokemon and even trainers. Maybe this Kalosian Meganium is known for helping to produce some of the best essential oils to sell. Maybe Kalos takes pride in its Meganium regional variant and it holds a high status as a beautiful Pokemon from the place of beauty already. Maybe the flowers could come in different colors, similar to florists and beauty competitions to find the most beautiful Meganium or Pokemon could be popular. I imagine that's deviating a little into Pokemon world building, but I want to emphasize the idea of beauty into the design as well. And the eyelash area could also help with having parts that make it appear like large lashes of some kind, as seen in trainers like Tulip associated with beauty and stuff like that. Even the spiral design of the flowers going up its long neck is accenting it and looking like a fancy pillar decorated in flowers. I thought about incorporating something like a Medici collar, going back to the historical roots of French fashion and royalty, though I ended up at first not choosing the exact shape of something so boisterous, but tried to keep the flowers more dainty and elegant. But flowers are definitely the accent of Meganium, and to be honest though, I was having trouble finding ties to the fairy typing, at least more than, what was had so far. So I decided to draw inspiration from bioluminescent flowers. Do you remember Glimwood Tangle? And do you remember them doing a 24-hour live stream of this place only to reveal Galarian Ponyta and Impidimp? I just had to mention it because that was kind of wild. But the forest is covered in light, and the next town over is just simply whimsical, and it really emphasizes the fairy typing. I think for Meganium, the idea of bioluminescent flowers can be a theme about beauty even in darkness. And we even get to see a pretty illuminated Meganium in new Pokemon Snap. So I wanted to try adding that into the design and idea. And don't think the bioluminescent flowers are just fantasy elements, they are real. Whether it be the ghost fungus in Australia that glows bright green to marine algae glowing blue, and France even being seen on the map thanks to startups working to harness the natural light of this and work towards a sustainable future. And I want to emphasize future here because we can't forget the themes of Legends ZA. We assume it has to do with future sustainability, the environment both people and Pokemon live in, and how to coexist better, whilst keeping the balance of nature and the dog Zygarde at bay. We talked about Meganium keeping the peace and attracting Pokemon and people through fragrance, but why do glowing plants even exist? One idea is that they are like a beacon for pollinators. I'm sure Meganium can also be like a beacon, keeping the peace, guiding others with its docile disposition, and it being big enough to be that beacon. I'm sure the Pokedex could say something like legends say the scent of its petals grants happiness to those nearby, or the glow of its flowers is said to guide lost travelers, maybe lightening up their mood too. Of course, if you were a lost traveler, I'm sure you would be in a horrible mood. That would be scary, but let me know your thoughts on this as well. So, if we go ahead and look at our Meganium page for this herb Pokemon, alright, here we go with some dex entries. The aroma that rises from its petals contains a substance that calms aggressive feelings. Meganium's breath has the power to revive dead grass and plants. It can make them healthy again. I like that. That's pretty funny. Anyone who stands beside it becomes refreshed, just as if they were relaxing in a sunny forest. So as you can see, this is great. It talks about its breath, it talks about everything like that. That's kind of wild. Its breath has a fantastic ability to revive dead plants and flowers. We're really talking about its breath here. I forgot about the Meganium breath. What can I say? Alright, its breath has the fantastic ability to revive dead plants and flowers. What can we incorporate with that? Surely there's something. We gotta figure out what we can do. That sounds interesting. But aside from the breath, the aroma that rises from its petals, as we, just read as well, it calms aggressive feelings. So this Pokemon is, of course, very well known for having apparently some reviving breath, but then also for its relaxing herb and fragrance to relax others as well. And that's really nice. But, unfortunately, Meganium is known for being, kinda rough in the stat department, in the, feasibility department, unfortunately. But, like I said, I think it's possible to make it good. I don't know if they actually will, though. But Meganium, I would love to have a regional Meganium that kind of switches up its stats a little bit. It changes things up. For example, it doesn't put it all into, poor defense stuff. It maybe can be more of an attacker or something like that. And have more HP as well. Like I said, I don't want my revival Pokemon who can revive things with its breath, plants, not Pokemon, but plants. But hey, keep that thing alive a little bit. Make it take some hits here and there. I would love to see it. We have Pokeathlon stats that don't quite matter, but they are there. But yeah, unfortunately, with it being its grass typing, it's kind of rough for Meganium, but you probably already know that. However, I think that a regional form is a way to reinvent a Pokemon of sorts. It's to give it a new look, a different one, an alternate one that has, this alternate reality, let's say, going on, where it could have more fairy moves, it could have more, fantastical things like that, all that. I think it would be great. I think, even the breath to revive plants can fit in with our idea of the bioluminescence stuff. It's coming from the dead, the darkness. Meganium is reviving these things from the darkness, let's say. I don't know. You know what I mean? We're just having fun here looking at it, and I am glad I double-checked because I did not see the emphasis on the breath. That was lost to me, but that is interesting. But above all, we can see the themes here, and hopefully the design that I created was simple enough to incorporate these themes as well, but then can also expand on them. We'll see how this goes, we'll see what we get in the game, but until then, I'm having fun trying to imagine some different realities here on what is possible. Let me know your different realities. Let me know what you are wanting or thinking, even if it's kind of absurd. Because that's the fun of this, you know, speculative time, let's say, and of taking Pokemon lore and kind of making it your own a little bit, trying to reinvent stuff. It's cool. Alright. Thank you so much again for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you had a fun time like I did, and I hope to see you next time as well. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye! Bye-bye! Thank you so much, and bye-bye!